What is going on, guys? Saiyan Motion here, back with another What If on the channel, and in this video, we're continuing the theory of if Gohan was like BROLY. At first, I was struggling to continue this What If, but now I know where to take it, even though I didn't before. And since I have an idea, we're going to continue it. But before we begin, you guys are going to need a quick recap of the previous part. So previously, Gohan had been taken to Kami's after his destructive power broke down Goku's house. There, he had meditated and trained under Kami to gain better control. Although he would lose it sometimes, it was better. Gohan had gone to Kame's house with Goku one day, and that's when Raditz arrived, triggering Gohan after he attacked Goku. But Gohan was able to defeat and kill Raditz. The Saiyans also arrived, but after a fierce fight with the group, Gohan had transformed into his Ikari state after witnessing the death of his friends. Goku knocked out Gohan after Gohan had attacked him, and this is where we start back up. But before we begin, let's hit a like goal of 15 likes since you guys hit the last one just on the time. But let's start off. We start off with every alive person on the lookout, and with the Dragon Balls in front of them. Kami steps forward as he then says the thing, and they summon Shenron. Everybody stands in front of Shenron as they wish for everybody to be revived that was killed by the Saiyans. Shenron can revive everyone, but there's a problem. As he's about to make the wish, he goes on to say, the one known as Chaozu had already been revived and could not be again. Now, although Tien is able to get revived, he decides to stay on King Kai's planet and only come if he was needed, or when Chaozu was revived. But I want to mention here, yes, the group was able to make it to King Kai's because they had high strength, and Kami probably informed them of doing so here. But this is where the group realizes they need to come up with a plan to get both of them back, and even if Tien is revived, he will not, unless Kami is able to do so. So, since they end up staying, they're training on King Kai's planet, and in disguise, this is actually good, because now both of them end up staying, learning the Kaioken and Spirit Bomb. Eventually, of course. But, now realizing this, the group try to come up with a plan. This is where our story would continue on the same path. Instead of Krillin, King Kai would mention it here. He would tell the group about Namek and how Piccolo and Kami are both Namekians. Although in shock to hear this, the two nod at each other, knowing that they weren't humans from the beginning. But the Kami continues, saying there's a spacecraft that Kami arrived in, which Popo and Kami of course know about, saying they can use that to make a ship that will go all the way to Namek. So that's what they end up doing. King Kai also mentions in the meantime he'll train the two still on his planet while Yamcha and Krillin are speeding back and probably already on the end of Snake Way because of their experience with times 10 gravity. But Goku is also informed by King Kai of someone that's evil heading that way as well. An evil emperor. The evil emperor. Frieza. And he tells them that they need to get away from him and not interact with him at all costs. Alongside this, they also need to avoid him. Goku, now urging for a fight, says he understands, but in reality, he won't. But now they get to work on the spaceship. Kami, who is alive, alongside Mr. Popo, Bulma, and Mr. Briefs get to work on the ship. Now, I feel like in the original series, or I feel like here, they would actually be able to build it much faster since Kami has this knowledge on the spaceship, his minor knowledge that he used to get to Earth, which even though he might not remember some of it, I feel like he would remember a little bit of the spacecraft. Popo would of course help because he did help sort of in the original series, and Bulma and Dr. Beast are the scientists with their knowledge on space, they are able to work on it. And in the original series, it took 10 days to fix Kami's craft and about a month to get to Namek. And then Goku launched off a few days after that. Here, it takes 16 days to build the entire ship, since Goku asked for a gravity chamber, and only an additional 6 days to launch and get to Namek. This is because it's the same ship that Goku went in, it's being made by all 4 of them. But Gohan is still the main focus. After showing off that power, he's a bit scared to power up again because he attacked his father and the group, and he was almost too big of a threat. But Goku assures him that it's no problem and they'll get his power under hold. That gets me thinking, the training. Well, of course, the gravity room is built and they all launch off. Almost everybody goes that's on Earth, part of the Dragon Team. Bulma goes to help pilot the craft, and she basically chills in a anti-gravity room. Yamcha goes to impress her. Goku, of course, goes alongside Gohan, Piccolo, and Krillin because he's the final Z fighter that's still there. Tien is still up on King Kai's planet with Chaozu, and they're training to learn stuff as well. But in the meantime, the group continues to train, and they start their training here. They would all end up training here, of course, and starting with 10 times gravity also. Now, Krillin and Yamcha got somewhat of a hang with 10 times gravity with their short time on King Kai's planet, but Piccolo and Gohan have no idea. It takes about half a day for everyone else to adjust, and when the gravity is turned to 20 times, everyone struggles. Gohan's power is at the top still, and he's able to power through it, but that means everyone else is getting a higher boost in power because of 20 times, and Gohan doesn't gain much from that. Slowly but surely, they're able to increase the gravity, and by 10 every half a day since they limitlessly train. But eventually, they come near Namek, and they end up doing so. Bulma, like I mentioned, has an anti-gravity room because she needs to be somewhere. She basically does whatever she wants, including monitoring the ship, looking over the boys, and eating strawberries. But after they arrive on Namek, they only have one Senzu left. And you may ask why one Senzu? Well, they did end up taking a lot because Piccolo made sure to get them, but also, since there were more people, that also means that they used more. So they only have the amount that they have right now, which is one Senzu, and they need to use it carefully. But since Frieza's ship hasn't arrived, it's still going to take one more day to get them there, and King Kai informs them of this. This gives them all enough safety to split up into groups. First one being Piccolo, Yamcha, and Krillin, and of course, Goku and Gohan. Bulma ends up staying back because it's her and she can't really fight, so she needs to stay back on the ship and keep track of it. Now, they actually all end up going separate ways and ending on each village. This is where they're able to convince all the people in every village that they just want to revive their friends, and also tell them of a threat coming. Everyone should be able to sense the approaching ship and all the powers on it. They tell the Namekians, and all the elders in every village would consult the Grand Elder, who would confirm what the strangers are saying. Now, once the group is all led by the elders to go to Grand Elder's place, they realize they were all led here. Now, when they enter, they're met by the Grand Elder, who is of course Guru here. Now, Guru ends up reading their mind, and after he ends up doing so, he finds out their true intentions and that they're not lying. And a side note, guys, he would end up unlocking all their powers and stuff. But this is where I want to talk about the side note. Basically, now, I'm not doing much power scaling lately, and that's just because it gets a little complicated with what-ifs, where people have crazy high power levels. That's why I want to do a what-if where people don't have crazy high power levels, and, something goes wrong, because most of my what-ifs, something doesn't go wrong. But it's just a disclaimer. Now, after getting their potential unlocked, I feel like they would have no problem using the Dragon Balls. They would be able to use it before the army even gets there. So they summon Purunga, and they end up making a few wishes. The first one is, of course, Chaozu to be revived, and they still have 2 wishes, so the other 2 wishes might just be for the 2 to be teleported to Namek, or at the end of Snake Way, but that might not be a problem. They could just also wish for a bunch of food. That's up to them. I won't really create a poll for this. But knowing that, the army will eventually come, and it ends up doing so, the group is remaining on Namek to defend it from the Emperor's hand. Right now, the Namekians and the Z-Fighters get prepared for the attack that is about to happen. And they're right. The army does end up coming. And as they're about to descend on Namek, it is met by a huge ki blast. Multiple attacks led right at them, and they're all blown up. This attack includes of almost every Namekian, which we know they all can because Mori, who was a part of the Dragon Clan, could. Alongside them, Nail, Goku, Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and Yamcha. The ship alongside the others behind it are all incinerated. Everything but one person, Frieza, who descends down in anger. And how do you think the Z-Fighters will face off against this menace? Well, since that's a story for another time, you'll have to find out in the next part. So what do you guys think about this part? Hope you did enjoy, and if you did, make sure to leave your comment suggestions down below. Drop a like and subscribe for more content like this. 15 likes and I'll continue this what if. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.